Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
It's been 2 weeks. Of course, we were off for American Thanksgiving last week. So now that it's been 2 weeks, I am well rested and will not fall asleep during the recording of this podcast, unlike the leader of the free world, who seemingly can't stop falling asleep at every public event that he holds nowadays.
Well, you know, what's really sad to me, Brad, is that you're literally starting off this episode with a lie. And that's sad. Everyone knows that he has unbelievable stamina. He doesn't sleep at night. He's up all hours of the night sending messages and tweeting and truthing and all this other stuff. I think he sent like over 100 messages in the middle of the night. So he's got plenty. The battery is full, baby. Like he's ready to go. The only problem is dementia patients normally have this circadian rhythm thing where they tend to stay up all night and not sleep and fall asleep during the day. But apropos of nothing, if we're being honest, like it's just
all of the Republicans who I'm talking about the Congress people specifically. Like everyone in his administration knows what they signed up for, but like all the Republican Congress people who get on TV and like fucking beclown themselves by talking about like how amazing like the president is and how much stamina he has and how smart and like, you know, like I wonder if they're like directed to do that from the White House or if they just know the score and just want to get out in front of it by themselves.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like the beclowning, as you like to say, which I think is just a great term. I think it's like I think they think that they're getting out ahead of it. Like I think they're just like, no, I'm going to put on the wig. Like I'm going to go out there. I'll look cool.
It's literally like in American history, you've never seen it before. Like obviously like we see that kind of shit all the time, especially in like North Korea and you know Russia, the way that they do their stuff, and you see that in like you know authoritarian countries. But like literally go back in time, like you cannot imagine any Republican talking about W that way or Reagan in that way, or you know, or pick anyone.
Not in real time. Not in real time.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. Yeah. If you're reflecting back, sure.
Oh,
like,
Reagan was so virile and. The way he was like hanging out with that monkey in that terrible movie, it was amazing. No one's ever done it, right? I mean, they talk about Reagan as if he was like the world's greatest swinging dick, right? Like it's just so bizarre. But and they don't mention Reagan anymore, which I also find to be pretty funny. They're just like, that was forever ago.
I mean, I just find that to be part of the natural course of history. Like you eventually you set them on the path, and then of course you become the lame neoliberal thing that they want to leave behind, even though you're the one that was at the top of the hill getting that snowball rolling. So
yeah, well,
that's just you love to see it the kind of stuff right there. So
yeah, Reagan fading into the dustbin of history is long overdue, in my opinion. He is the worst. So no, but you know. Like what I find to be interesting is that like weird sycophantic way in which people talk about Trump, and it's like this like the God King, the God Emperor, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, those are supposed to be jokes. They're like, no, for real.
By the way, that's how you know, like deep down, that they know that he's not with it, that they know he can't do it because they feel like they have to go out so hard and cover for him because if he was just doing his thing, they wouldn't have to say anything because they'd be like, "You guys see it? Like you guys know
you got
up?
Data to back it up, like
right?
They got shit to back it up." So yeah, it certainly is interesting, but very weird. So all right, main topic of this week: apparently doing boat strikes and more importantly, doing like a double, maybe triple or quadruple tap on a boat. Might be the thing that broke the dam that allowed Republicans to go, hold on a second, we're supposed to be doing a job.
Well, notably not Tom Cotton, but most other serious Republicans are a little aghast about about what they've seen. So
who was the douchebag who didn't vote for the Epstein thing?
Clay Higgins.
Yeah, Tom Cotton is the Clay Higgins of the boat strikes.
He is. I mean, I guess I'd rather be the Clay Higgins of illegal boat strikes than be the Clay Higgins of what Clay Higgins is the Clay Higgins for. But
that is correct. Like, bro, what? Why did you vote against that? Like, in the future, I'll be vindicated. You will not be. I can guarantee you're not on the right side of history here. So, the boat strike, very specifically this one that happened in September, seems to be the thing where people on the right are like, "Hey guys, this seems bad. Like we shouldn't."
Yeah, this looks awful.
Yeah,
actually.
Now I did see, I did hear an interview with a guy. I don't remember his name, so I apologize. But he was talking about. He made a point that I 100% agree with, which is you have to be careful about this boat strike conversation. That you don't super hard focus on this particular strike, thus making the other boat strike somehow A-okay, but this one is particularly bad. They're all bad. This is just a slightly different case of bad, right? Like, we're doing this illegally anyway. All of these boat strikes are totally illegal and unwarranted. But just because they did a second, third, or fourth strike on this boat, by all accounts, as of the time we're recording this, they hit that same boat 4 times, by the way. So yeah, don't just hyper focus on this and be like, well, the other ones were A-okay, like that. And I think that's actually a very good point. The biggest thing here to remember about this particular strike and the follow-up strikes is in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, when they talk about unlawful orders, they literally cite this very scenario as a prime example of an unlawful order, meaning you do not, like if a ship has been shipwrecked, right, like in battle, an enemy ship has been basically disabled, you do not keep firing upon that ship. Your goal is either you leave them, like you could just be like, fuck those people, right? But really what you should do is you should rescue them, right? Because yes, it is a war, but you take them as a prisoner of war, you treat their wounds or what have you, and then you put them in jail or what have you. Like
right.
that's
and if you're unclear about this, like there is a historical documentary that we've all seen that you guys can go back and watch. It's called Die Hard, and there's a scene where the bad guy terrorists are sending out like rockets at the police ATV, and they disabled it. And the hero John McClane is yelling at fucking Hans Gruber to let them pull back because you made your point. Like, what are you doing? And Hans is like, no, I'm going to fucking show them what I'm all about. And then, John McClane told the terrorists to take something under advisement and kill them all. Like those are the consequences of failing to, pull back and do what you're supposed to do.
Honor the Geneva Convention. John McClane,
that's right.
Even with glass in his foot, understood the rules. I thought you were going to say like, there's a historical document, Master and Commander. I was like, wow, that's a deep.
By the way, because I have to laugh a little bit or find humor in these things, but just to avoid going crazy. So they were showing the video of the strike on this particular attack, right? So like the first strike happens, destroys the boat, right? And so what folks see is you see like 2 guys from the boat trying to like get aboard a capsized portion of the boat to avoid, potentially drowning or just kind of laying in the water. And basically the folks in the military who carry these strikes out are trying to say, oh, they were trying to flip the boat over to continue like moving over and stuff like that. My favorite account of this is when they asked Pete Hegseth, because he apparently watched these strikes happen, right? He told everyone that like, yeah, I watched the first strike, and I didn't see the 2 men before the second strike was ordered because the fog of war had prevented being able to view the men clearly, which is very funny to me that apparently Pete Hegseth thinks the fog of war is literal fog.
Right.
Is my interpretation of this.
Thank you. I literally just Googled fog of war so I could read the definition of what that means. It's not.
Yeah, no. Fog of war is just not knowing like your specific enemy positions because like you don't have detailed mapping or
Right.
you know or surveillance or things like that. Like it's a euphemism. It's not a fucking literal.
Yeah, like he's like, no, fog began to develop, the smoke of war, like the fire of war. Like, shut up. Look, here's the thing. I know Pete Hegseth is an ass clown for many reasons. They're all very apparent to me. However, one of the bigger telltale signs that he's an ass clown is because people in the military don't talk like he does. You know, this is the fog of war, and we have to make sure that we're giving our war fighters a proper. They don't say things like that. You sound like a child playing with G.I. Joes in a sandbox, and you're like, look out for the fog of war, Cobra. Like military people don't talk like that. Like, you're talking like a military documentary about shit. You're not talking about people actually on the ground doing these things. And
yeah,
like
that's because he was not someone who was in like he was not like a career officer in the fucking military. So he's not trying to play the Secretary of Defense as the position stands. He wants to be the TV version of the Secretary of Defense.
Right. So, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. He was deployed in, you know, in like Afghanistan.
Sorry. My apologies. Secretary of Defense, according to his placard at the cabinet meeting.
Yes. Two S's. Interesting. A mistake.
Typo. Right.
Right. I don't know. Why did you use that font in that Department of like what was it, Department of Labor or what have you? Like, why'd you use the Nazi font, guys? Like, and then call for re-immigration? Who could know? Curious. And again, when we pointed out, we're the crazy liberals, but they chose the Nazi font. Sure, fine. So Stephen Miller's like, hey, no one will notice. We noticed.
We did.
So Hegseth's saying like, look, this is the fog of war. Again, not what that term means. And you know, like, how could you know and everything else? But you said that you watched the live, you know, strike, and you were like, it was a one and done, baby. I saw it all happen, and it was like, I didn't even need to see anything else, right? He's the guy like shooting the basketball and just turning around. Like, I already know what's going in. Like, we're good. And then he sends out this tweet. You know, one, they asked Trump. They're like, the fuck?
Yeah, Trump's like, I don't know nothing about this.
I know nothing about this.
Over here.
Like, I hate war. I don't even know who. So I'm a peace president. I stop wars, baby. Like, which ones? 8 of them. Just you pick 2 countries that they were fighting, right? So he's like, I don't know anything. Talk to Pete. Pete's the man. Pete's like, oh, did I get the hot potato? Get the fuck out of here. He throws it to Admiral Bradley. And he's like, Pete Hegseth sends out this tweet. He's like, I entrust the integrity of Admiral Bradley and his choice at Southcom. You know, I think Admiral Bradley made the right choice in, you know, doing the follow-up strikes. You know, I think Admiral Bradley.
I stand firmly behind him, and you know that because I'm currently kicking him in the back in front of the bus that's about to fucking run over him. By the way, it was really interesting. This story, like, kind of unfolding this week in the same week that I happened to. So Hardcore History is a podcast that I listen to, and they put out an episode this week where they talk to
once every 3 months, and it's like 97 hours.
Once every 6 months. This was like one of their addendum episodes, though. So this was just a shorter one. And Dan Carlin did an interview with a historian who has a new book out about the atomic bombs. And what's interesting is that this author, he's a professor, has uncovered details about the atomic bomb like decision-making process that have never really been unfurled. And that is like that Truman actually didn't know that like the bombs were going to be dropped on women and children. Apparently he didn't even realize that the second bomb was going to be dropped. Oh. And he's like, yeah, like I ordered the first one. And apparently like, as they were briefing him on the report from what happened with the first bomb, like they were in the process of like carrying out the second strike, apparently. And you find that he Truman actually, apparently, according to this book, was actually more out of the loop on things than you think, but you don't realize that, or history hasn't told that account, because Truman is also the fucking famous "the buck stops here" president, and he was always the guy that was going to be like, "Hey, the decision ultimately came down to me. Like, this is my so like I'm going to fucking own this. I'm not going to blame my Secretary of War or this, that, or the other thing." And you come to find out later that a lot of the reasons why we do have such like a stringent like decision-making process now before we launch a nuclear weapon is because after this happened, Truman was like, yeah, I don't really want anyone to have to go through this shit ever again, ideally. So like, we're going to put safeguards in place to actually make this really difficult before we do this, because of the awesome responsibility that it has. And I just, Lisa, it was interesting hearing that story, taking a guy who ostensibly could have been like, yeah, my guys didn't tell me a whole lot. I didn't realize that we were dropping it on a fucking city and we were going to be killing, like tens of thousands of innocent people. But he was just like, no, like, I'm the fucking president. Like, ultimately, like, the decision lies with me. And I'm going to fucking be out in front and own that shit. Even though I'm sure, like, if this, reporting is true, that this probably fucking haunted him for the rest of his fucking life.
I mean, no offense, but as it should have, right? Like, yeah. And the atomic bomb, not to go too off on a tangent here, the atomic bomb is a difficult conversation. Like, if you're looking at it with a level of nuance, because it's super easy to be like, we shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. Okay, like, agreed. And like, if we didn't, Germany would have likely dropped a bomb on us. You know what I mean? Like, would it have been like the next day? No, but it would have been very soon. And so it was like, how do you balance that as like a president? Like, that's super difficult, right? Because it's easy to say it as a citizen decades outside of that situation, right? Like, if you're the leader of the country, you're like, the Nazis who are killing people indiscriminately all over Europe have this technology, or are very close to having this technology. And if they drop it on us, we're fucked. Like, you're fucked. If you drop a nuke or multiple nukes on the United States, what would it have looked like?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
the point being, like, so they drop, and one thing that may lend some credence to this is like, so they dropped the 2 bombs on Japan. They didn't do that shit to Germany. And you could argue that, like, one of the reasons they did maybe is they saw what happened. They're like, oh, like, kind of wish we hadn't done that. that didn't work out exactly as we were anticipating.
Right. And I mean, obviously I would make the argument that there are 2 major elements to that, which is one, Pearl Harbor, right? This is like, we need like direct fucking payment.
Sure.
Right. And look, again, it's super easy to say this decades and decades out from that, but like, that's a bloodthirstiness. There's no way, if that had happened in 2025, I mean, look what we did to Iraq, right? Like, they were fucking responsible. We're like, go over there and blow all of that shit up for 9/11. You're like, but those are the wrong people. They're brown enough, and we don't care.
Like, trust me, we will light $7 trillion on fire.
Yeah, we do not care.
Exact this revenge. Yeah.
Right. So I can understand it, right? Like, it doesn't matter if I historically agree with it or not. I can understand it. The other aspect of it is, there's no way they're dropping that on a bunch of white people. Sorry, I don't believe that. I just don't believe
that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, look, America, blah blah blah. Patriotism, whatever. The white American power structure sees a hell of a lot more similarities to the Germans, even with all of their shit during Nazi Germany, than they do with the Japanese. And I know that because you can listen to Burn Order by Rachel Maddow, where they literally imprisoned those people, right? They didn't give a fuck if they were citizens. So they
is that out yet?
Yeah, it's out now. I think the first 2 episodes are out. So Americans didn't give a fuck about the Japanese. I mean, again, why would they care? So that whole idea of like, oh, you think everything is race. I mean, do you really think that they would have dropped a bomb in the middle of a white-ass country like Germany? I don't think they fucking would have. And they were, yes, I understand Pearl Harbor happened, but we wouldn't be in that situation if Germany wasn't doing what it was doing, right? Like they could have nuked Germany and been like, knock it the fuck off. They could have. They didn't, right? You could have flown a plane over Germany and one over Japan and been like, hey, Italy, you want any pasta to be made in your country? Because we'll make sure there's a fucking hole there, right? We'll just knock the fucking bottom off of that boot. Like, don't fuck around. They could have done that, but they didn't. They chose Japan for many reasons, but I'm sure the fact that they didn't look like us as the white power structure in America at the time, I'm sure that had some level of basis. I'm sure of it.
In fact, and just to link it back, don't think that they would be just, putting drone strikes on fucking boats in the sea many times indiscriminately would be happening also if it wasn't for the fact of who they were striking. So
yeah. No, if it was, hey, there's drug boats coming in from Switzerland, they'd be like, one, how the fuck did they get the boats over there? But like, yeah, they'd be like, well, all right, They're not just striking and blowing white people out of the water. They're just not doing that.
They have wheels too, so they could traverse the Alps before they got to the ocean. So
that's true. Technology.
Right. Got to get over that Iberian Peninsula first, and then we can do it right to the U.S. It's gonna be awesome.
It's an easy drive, really.
Right.
Yeah, much like the boats coming out of Venezuela that would have to like refuel 15 times before they hit the mainland of the United States. But let's strike them because they're dangerous. What? Dude, just let them run out of gas. Like, it's fine. Let's pick them up. So, yeah, I do think the boat strikes are a serious thing. That, look, in the Senate, Republicans have joined with Democrats to open an investigation in one of their committees, and in the House.
Literally, there was a House Republican who went on one of the shows today and was talking about the video of the drone strike, and he said, "Listen, we were striking people that if they had been arrested and tried and convicted in the U.S. would not be subject to capital punishment. And yet we're out here for the crimes that they committed. And yet we're out here killing them. Like, that's not how this is supposed to work.
Right. Basically. It doesn't make sense. And look, I'm not going to also pretend that Republicans don't feel emboldened after those special elections because they see Trump doesn't have any power he has less. And so now Republicans are like, go out there and beat my chest a little bit. Let these motherfuckers know.
Even special. I mean, it hasn't stopped because there was a special election in Tennessee earlier this week as well, and the Republican in that special election held on to the seat in a deep red county.
Yes.
But the vote from 2024 still flipped by I want to say it was 13 points.
13 points.
Away from them or something like that.
Yeah.
So even in elections that Democrats aren't winning, you're still seeing a pretty concerning sign of potential things to come. So
yeah, that race in Tennessee follows the same precedent as all these other special elections, which is Democrats are swinging every race. They're swinging between 13 to 15 points at a minimum. So, like you said, even though they lost the Tennessee race, they still got the 13-point spread. So that's not good. That's not good at all. So it looks like you have a orange-colored albatross around your neck, Republican Party, and it's your own doing. Well, it's that, and the economy is going to dog shit. But that's because of the albatross.
Oh, don't worry. It's gonna according to all his advisors, it's gonna be awesome in 2026. First they were blaming Biden, like the hangover from the Biden administration. Now they're blaming the shutdown. Apparently, we'll see how long they blame the 6-week government shutdown for the drag on the economy. 4 months from now, they're like, well, when there was a government shutdown, yeah, I'm sure the ripple effects from that echo out indefinitely. So
echo into eternity, right? So it's I think we lost 72,000 jobs in this latest jobs report.
I would know because they didn't put out they didn't release a jobs report. So
yeah, no, there was it's not the normal jobs report.
It's the
layoffs.
The ADP.
Right. It was 72,000 jobs lost, and they were expecting to gain 35,000. So again, these big swings are not working out for the Republican Party, very specifically. So Admiral Alvin Halsey, or Halsey, is the one that this dude. Yeah, well, I think he is officially out. Like, he put in his retirement, but I think he's officially leaving in like a couple of days or something like that, or maybe a week.
Mm-hmm.
But one, this dude looks like he is like Mr. Military. This like dude, like he looks like.
Well, I'm gonna say there is one problem for Pete Hegseth in terms of him looking like Mr. Military.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't good for him because apparently he went kind of like toe to toe with this guy ever since he came aboard, because he was like, look, this is what we're doing in Southcom, and this guy was like, nah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's like, hey, we want you to strike drug boats. How do you know they're drug boats? We're pretty sure they're drug boats, but we want you to kill these guys. No, I don't think so. Yeah. It's not going to work for me.
Nope. And so apparently they were just like, okay, well, if you won't, Hegseth is like, look, if you don't want to take my orders, you need to be like, how high type of shit. And the guy was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm out. Fucking, he bailed. He was like, I'm retiring. Which, he's a fucking admiral. They don't retire early. They get that full fucking pension. And so he retires, and everyone was like, it's a bit curious, like that was like a number of months ago. It's like, that's curious. And all I can think is, that's not curious. Something has happened. Like, yeah, this is bad. And then everybody started finding out more and more about the drone strikes, or well, I guess they are. Some of them are done by drones. These boat strikes. And then we find out this admiral, this other guy, Admiral Bradley, had been put into the position, and he's been like, hell yeah, man, let's go all in. And then there was a report that Pete Hegseth had given an order of kill them all, which is a wild thing to say. Okay, like, did you write it down? You probably shouldn't have written it down. And so Admiral Bradley is like, no. Pete Hegseth did not say kill them all. I alone made the choice to fall on this sword, which I have to assume he is going to be booted, and he will be quickly pardoned for anything that's happening, and somehow they will figure out a way to give him his full pension for falling on the sword. What say you?
I would say that would all sound correct, except that we've seen how Donald Trump et al. Reward loyalty, and it's a little spotty.
That's true.
Best. Maybe they just fucking kick this guy to the curb and just let him truly fall on the sword, and just let him fucking deal with it. Like, oh, that's too bad. Oh, sorry about your luck.
I guess you got busted down to a fucking private. Good luck with your $12,000 of fucking pension for the rest of your retirement. Yeah, look, I think Admiral Frank Bradley is a fool. And look, you don't take unlawful orders. I mean, I'm not in the military. I've never been in the military. But this feels like a thing that you probably shouldn't have done. Shout out to black people being smart. It's like, nah. Like, no. I don't trust y'all. But to think that you are going to be protected, it might happen. There's an equal chance it might not happen. And they will just throw you to the wolves. Now, people are saying that this is a war crime or this is tantamount to murder. My answer to that is yes. Yeah, it is. I think all of these are murders because you're not giving anyone due process. They're like, oh, well, we recovered drugs from some of those boats. Cool. Why don't you tell Congress this?
Where are the drugs?
Yeah, where are the drugs?
Where's your intelligence? Where's your evidence?
Yeah.
Because again, like if another country did this to us, like if an American whatever was, boating in international waters, and some other country was like Spain was like, hey, like they're carrying drugs on that boat that they're going to take to Spain, and Spain fucking shot them down and killed the people on board. Pretty sure we'd be starting a war tomorrow if that was us.
We'd be fucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this idea that we can just do boat strikes all willy-nilly is bullshit. You should have to go to Congress. And there seems to be an impetus of sort of reining this in. But you should have to go to Congress. You should have to
that's the funny thing, because they're trying to have it both ways. Like the justification from the Department of Defense, or from, I shouldn't even say the DoD at all, but from Hegseth, is that, oh, like we're warring with Venezuela because they're sending drugs into the country, but not a real war, because if it was a real war, we know we'd have to go to Congress. So like, I'm going to say that we're going to war to give me cover to do these strikes, but also not a real war, because if it was a real war, then we can't just do that unilaterally. Yep. So again, like they're talking out of both sides of their mouth with this shit, which, anyone that has a functioning brain can see clear as day that, like, try to have your cake and eat it too here.
Right. And just this idea of like, oh, well, they're definitely drug boats. Well, if they're definitely drug boats, bring the evidence.
I will say, the one thing I will give them credit for not doing, I suppose, is trying to somehow bootstrap themselves onto the AUMF from the Iraq War that still somehow gets used for anything that we do.
Yeah, all right.
In the Middle East 25 years later. So,
well, I mean, they're calling them narco terrorists, so I'm surprised, honestly, that they haven't.
Yeah.
Right, and they're using that term on purpose, like very much are. So, yeah, my thing is, all right. Then why don't you disable the boats? Grab the people who are
arrest them,
bring
them in,
show that they have drugs. And by the way, you got to do this a number of times. You can't just be like, "Hey, there's one boat, so that means it's cool if we just drone strike a bunch of boats." No, because like apparently.
By the way, even if you do it 100 times, that doesn't change the fact that it's not cool to be fucking launching missiles at boats that are in the water that are allegedly carrying drugs.
Exactly.
Less the penalty for drug trafficking got changed to the death penalty in this country, and I was asleep and didn't realize it. So
yeah. Well, wake up, Brad. They're striking the boats. So like it was interesting because apparently this boat that is of question was struck 4 times, but it had 11 people on it. And I heard someone make the point of, you don't put a bunch of people on a drug boat. Like you want less crew, more drugs. Like you don't go, hey, well, we need 11 people. No, you get it down to like 2 people, 3 people.
I've seen every episode. I've seen every episode of Miami Vice. I know how drug smuggling in the Caribbean.
Yeah, obviously. 1, push your sleeves up. 2, less men. Right. I've seen all
fast boat.
Yeah, less boat. I've seen all the documentaries of cocaine cowboys. Like, come on, it makes sense. So, yeah, this is an insane sort of situation in and of itself. Then you go to what I think is probably the funniest part of the domestic side of this, which is Mark Kelly and the Democrats coming out a number of days ago or weeks at this point, being like, hey, like Mark Kelly, who's, former military, Slotkin, who is like former CIA, and a number of other Dems who are all ex-military were like, they made a video, like a We Are the World kind of video of like, hey, don't follow illegal orders if you're in the military, like you don't, or the intelligence community, you don't need to do that. Remember your oath that you took. Trump like flipped the fuck out. Was like, how dare you remind them of their jobs? Like that's the worst. And everyone's like, well, did Mark Kelly, like he's just saying that, and he's like, yeah, no, we were just making a statement. Bullshit. Mark Kelly is not an idiot. Mark Kelly knew or had an inkling of this very thing. This is like, there's politics and then there is what this is, which is a mixture of politics, like the politicking of it and understanding like policy, right? And understanding like governance. He knows what these motherfuckers are doing in Southcom, right? He was aware that they're doing these strikes anyway. Everyone was aware. But he had an inkling or perhaps even knew, right? Remember, like this guy's was former military. Did you say he doesn't talk to anyone in the military anymore? Like, knock it the fuck off. And he at least had an inkling that what they were doing was not just like passively illegal, but like patently illegal. And that's why him and the rest of these folks got out there and were like, hey, this is not cool. Don't follow illegal orders. We don't need to say which illegal orders. Just don't follow. And sure as shit, they like Trump is like, they should all be hanged or whatever. In just about a week and a half, right as that was peaking and peaking. Oh, we're going to bring in a military tribunal. Oh, we got busted doing illegal orders. All right, let's just slide this conversation back down and not talk about Mark Kelly anymore, right? They questioned Mark Kelly and Slotnick and all these other people. They had people come and question them about it, all trying to intimidate them. And they're sitting pretty now because they pulled the greatest dude we told you of all fucking time. We told you. And sure as shit, the conversation has switched from should they have made that video to, oh, remember when they made that video? Yeah, it turns out they were right. It's on purpose.
And the one thing that is cool, regardless of what happens to Mitch Bradley, is
it should be court.
The combination of that video combined with whatever does happen to him, because I mean, I would imagine that in some way, shape, or form, he's going to be held to account. Now, whether he gets off for that because of something Trump and Hegseth do, that's a different question. But it should at least give anyone that was thinking about in the military blindly following these idiots into whatever battles they want to get into some pause before they do it, which I think is kind of the point of all this.
Yeah. No, I couldn't disagree. But I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is Mark Kelly is running for president. And if he wasn't thinking about running for president, he fucking is now. Like, you can listen to interviews with him. Like, before he was just like, well, he's like kind of a quiet guy or whatever. Now he's like, bring it on. I'm not scared of these guys. I was like, yeah, he's ramping up. Like, like
I said, he's a bit more moderate than my taste particularly would be, but at the same time, like he's someone that he's kind of a throwback in a lot of ways of someone that would run for president, like ex-military, fucking astronaut, which is just cool.
Yeah, I mean,
like, married to Gabby Giffords, so he can be super credible when talking about like gun violence and stuff like that and things of that nature. So like that's, I could see it. I mean, like he might be in the mix for sure. Now, actually, the question is, when did he win his Senate election? Because I don't know that he would run if he had to risk not being able to get reelected to Senate. I'll see if he ran in 28, he'd have to not run for Senate because he just won his seat in 2022. So, all
right, it's scary times.
Oh, that's right. He ran against proto-fascist Blake Masters.
Oh, so fuck that guy. So yeah, I think he is running. Which is okay. I'm okay with it. And I agree. He's way more moderate than I want right now. But I wouldn't be mad about him being president because he's the type of guy who you could go, I'm not worried about the United States making like disastrous choices under him. I mean, I'm just not. The question is,
I mean, that's probably almost any Democrat that runs. You could probably say the same about that.
Fair enough. But what I mean by that is, I think you get like a calming 4 to 8 years with him, where I like in my normal part of my brain of like, perhaps we should just, let's just get the country back on the right path type of shit. I agree with that. But at the same time, I agree with the other part of my brain, which is much louder, which is what I wrote to Terrence earlier, which is fuck tradition, and you just go, right? Like, because you need a fire, you need a bit of a firebrand now. And like, you do. Like, Democrats need somebody. You need somebody who's going to get in there and be, who's going to get in there and make you look. You are going to require some big moves, and you cannot be timid. Like that.
So I'm only going to disagree with you insofar as you don't necessarily need the firebrand to be president. You just need that whoever's president to not stand in the way of a potential firebrand leading the House and the Senate. I think it matters more who your House and Senate leaders are than it is who the president is in that situation. As long as that president's not going to be just like vetoing shit left and right, that might be, a little big swings that might come from Congress potentially.
Right. Yeah. But that requires a very liberal person. And I think that Mark Kelly is liberal. I don't know in the grand scheme of things how much of a sort of a traditionalist he is versus a guy who's really willing to take big swings. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've not looked into him that much, but I like Mark Kelly.
I would like to get. I mean, my personal opinion would I almost would love to have more of a normal president in place so that we can get back to the fucking tradition of Congress and the president being somewhat opposing forces.
Sure.
And Congress taking on much more of the role that they're supposed to take on, and the president taking on the role that the president is supposed to take on. And we don't fucking have a de facto, order, executive order by fiat thing because Congress is letting the president do whatever he wants. Like I don't think that's. I think that's something that a new tradition that we might want to not be continuing forward from the Republican side of things. And there's a lot of people on the far left who would disagree with that. Like they basically just want a far left version of what Donald Trump is doing, and I don't think that that's a very smart or sustainable way to go.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I don't like. I agree from the perspective of like ruling by fiat. Like I don't need that. I do want it to go to Congress and like actually write laws. Like do real work.
All I need the president to do, honestly, in 2028, if it's a Democrat, is whoever he picks to be his attorney general, he tells them like, hey,
fucking bulldog.
Right. I don't like fucking all this corruption that's been going on for the past fucking 4 years. Like,
go to work.
Make examples. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but fucking make examples out of these fucking.
Hey man. Fuck tradition. I'd be like, you know what? Guess what's happening now? These are the people I want prosecuted. No, I'm but but I agree. I wouldn't be so hands off in picking the attorney general. I'd be like, I need if you're going to take this position, I need you to understand what I'm looking for is I need you to root out corruption. Serious. Don't bullshit me. Like, we're not going to be on this mealy mouth thing. And I'd be like, hey, remember that last dumbass that the Democrats had in? Garland? Don't be like that. I want you to be a fucking pit bull. You see corruption, and I don't give a shit what side it's on. You see corruption, you go after it. And there's some real, I mean, you just, as you speak as plainly as you can and as like potentially vaguely as you can. Be like, look, all I'm saying is like, maybe there's an orange hue over a lot of things, like a familiar sort of thing. Go after it, right? Like my first thing was I'd be ripping every piece of Bitcoin out of that family. I'd be trying to break their fucking piggy bank of all the corrupt money that they've had dumped into their pockets over the last 4 to 8 years. Get the fuck out of here. I would go after all of it. That's not fair. Life's not fair. Guess what's happening now? We brought in the worst pieces of shit forensic accountants that we could find. Open those books. Like we brought in Erwin R. Shyster. That's our fucking guy. Open your
I think he would be on the he was always a bad guy. He would be on the side
of course he was.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Yeah, that's, by the way, solid wrestling name and persona. Absolutely great. Feels a bit racist, but still. I mean, the best wrestling personas are, if we're being honest. So, yeah, I think Kelly's running, and I wish him well. We'll see what he does. News you need. This one I thought was really funny. Donald Trump is like, oh, no. I think people are going to be mad about healthcare prices going up.
Yeah, you think?
And he was like, we should try to extend the Obamacare subsidies. And the Republican Party is like, I don't think you heard us the first time. Ironically, Trump on the right side of history in this exact moment.
For the wrong reason, but yes,
100. That's why I wrote in the docket. That's why I wrote, laughably, Trump tries to get on the right side of issue poorly and loses to GOP.
Yeah. Like I said, if he was like, hey, like I don't want all these people to have to pay more for healthcare, like that'd be great. His entire onus for this is like, I don't want them to be mad at me.
Yeah. Don't blame me. Look, he's not wrong though, right? Like fundamentally, you want to get out ahead of this so that the subsidies don't expire and prices spike. Now, as the crow flies, it's December 4th. And they got until the end of the year to fix it. And Republicans have done literally
nothing. They don't seem too motivated to get the ball rolling here. So
okay, let me ask you a question, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Simple math.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans are losing races, or the races are swinging 13 points to Democrats right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does that look like if they don't renew the subsidies going into the fucking midterms? That is insane to me.
I think they're hoping that this could be like akin to ripping off a Band-Aid, and then enough time will hopefully pass that people will forget about it. I don't think people are going to forget their healthcare premiums tripling, even several months later, when we've all gotten time to get used to it. And here's the ironic thing, right? So like I was a little, I don't want to say uninformed, but I wanted to learn more about this. And so on an episode of With Pod, Chris Hayes brought on like a career healthcare reporter that works for the Bulwark. And so basically what these subsidies are, so like when Obamacare was first passed, right, they basically offered Obamacare to like, hey, like if you make up to 4 times more than like poverty wages, like you're eligible to get this stuff, right? That was like the compromise that they were able to work out with centrist Democrats, because they wanted to make sure that the healthcare that Obamacare would be essentially a net zero payment system, because they didn't want to add to the deficit. And so that was the way they could do it, is by kind of limiting who was able to get access to it. And so what happened as part of the recovery bill that was passed in 2021 after the height of the pandemic, is those Obamacare subsidies were extended to people who now you can make up to 5 times more than the poverty limit. So basically, like, you were just expanding the number of people that were eligible to partake in Obamacare. Correct. So what I say all this to say, like, the actual like cost involved with extending these is not prohibitively expensive from a congressional budget standpoint. I think it was like to extend these subsidies would be like an extra $30 to $40 billion a year, which ain't nothing. But when you're talking Congress money, like, it ain't that much either at the end of the day. So, and is it really worth, like, if you're Republicans, is it really worth like taking on this pain in order to just deny coverage to middle class people like that that are supposed to be ideally your bread and butter?
No, it makes literally no sense. So, okay, I also listened to that same interview, and I was like, what? Like, what is the, because I listened to that interview, but I was also reading this book, The Sum of Us, which I highly recommend if you really want to get angry and be, completely radicalized. Big into that. So in that book, they talk about healthcare subsidies, right? Mm-hmm. And so it tied in, because I listened to these like sort of almost back to back. And they were talking about how little amount of people are on Medicare, like in Texas and in Florida, because they have not expanded because of Obamacare, right? They're like, hey, if you expand it, or like if you accept the, Obamacare in your state, and you can expand the amount of people who get covered under Medicare. Because I think under Obamacare, it's like,
it's Medicaid specifically is what you're talking about.
Excuse me. I always mix them up. Yeah. Expanding Medicaid. So under Obamacare, I think it's like, what is it? It's basically like you can make like as a household, I think you can make up to like $140,000. I forget what percentage above the poverty line that is, but you can make up to $140,000 as a household and still, qualify technically. And so, and also to get into the exchanges, right? Do you know that Texas is like 3% because they haven't expanded into Medicaid? They're only their minimum is 3% of the poverty line, right? Like, to get into Medicaid in Texas,
like you have to be 3% above the poverty line maximum. That's as high as you can go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is a month?
Above the poverty line? What is? I don't know what the poverty line is.
So the poverty line is $33,948.
So I mean, so basically 33.5. So yeah, divide that by 12. What is that? $1,100 a month? $1,000?
Yes, right. So the problem with that is, I'm sorry. For a family of four, it's 12% of the federal poverty line, right? Which roughly works out to around $322 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That $322 a month is the maximum they can earn for the entire family to qualify for Medicaid. Who the fuck makes that little amount of money? So if you have even the tiniest of jobs, you cannot qualify. If you are an adult with no kids, you cannot qualify. If you are an adult with children, the qualification for children is like $7,000, right? Like you cannot exceed like $7,000 a month. The parents can't. But and that's a lot of people, right? Because obviously children, obviously a lot of people don't make $7,000 a month. So that threshold's high. So if you have a son, right? Mm-hmm. Your son would qualify because you don't. Let's say you don't. I don't think you make $7,000 a month. Good for you if you do. Brad's rich. I told you. I told you. Brad goo gods of money, right? So let's say Brad was a regular person, right?
Now I want to do math. Hang on. Well, I mean, you can keep talking. I'm just going to do the math.
Yeah, you're going to see that Joker.
By the way, are we talking gross or net? That's another important.
Fuck off, Brad. Fuck off. Get out of here. Brad's living my old life. I used to be rich. I'm Mexican rich, but I'm American poor now. See, all right. So Brad's kid wouldn't fucking make it. Yeah. But let's say my
it's okay. I don't need it. I don't need it. So.
No, yeah. Listen to this guy. I don't even need this poor people money. Get out of here.
Look. I'm like. So maybe not me, but like me and my wife combined, of course. Like you're not.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to tell people, right? So let's say Brad's a regular person. So Brad's son would qualify to get to be in the CHIP program, right? Which is basically Medicaid for kids. But even though your son qualifies, you make over $322 a month, so you don't qualify. So you and your wife still couldn't get Medicaid. That's the system they have. And Florida is Texas is 12% of not, by the way, it's not 12% of above the poverty line. It's 12% of the poverty. Of 12% of the 33,000. It's not 12% above.
That cannot be right.
That's why it's $322 a month. That's why it's so low. Yes.
Hold on. I want to make sure you're not spilling out falsities here, alternative facts here on the podcast.
Okay.
Texas Medicaid eligibility. Let's see. What
you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad when you read this shit. For parents or caretakers of Texas.
No, it says according to this, it says
up to 12% of the federal poverty level. It's not above. It
says here a maximum of $2,800 per month for single person households is what it says.
Yes, converting $2,800 times 12 is
per month. Yeah.
Yes.
You're saying like if they're over three, you were saying if they make like over $300 a month that they're not qualified.
Hold on. 300. Okay. In Texas, if you're an adult with a child, the annual maximum income for Medicaid is extremely low, about 12%, right? For a family of four, 12% of the federal poverty line is $32,000 or roughly $3,858 a year. That's roughly $322 a month. If you like, I
feel like you're mixing up different statistics together, or the site that you're looking at is confusing.
Okay, well, yeah, all right. Well, because this is linked out to healthinsurance.org. So either way, still, a family of four,
it's still insane.
$2,000 a month. It's still fucking insane.
It's still insane that you're keeping it anywhere near the poverty line, especially in this day and age, and especially with healthcare costs being what they are.
Yeah, no,
like that's insane.
No, it's absolutely fucking nuts. Does anybody know any zip codes in Texas? I was just I'm going off of their thing. But yeah, no, dude, it's incredibly low. Like it's fucking ridiculous. But again, this is what happens when you just don't expand Medicare or Medicaid because you don't give a fuck about people.
Now I will say, so I'm on this everytexan.org, which is talking about like healthcare costs in Texas. Literally 2/3 of the people covered by Medicaid in the state of Texas are kids. Right. So like, obviously, like, yeah, it's having a disproportionate, you are correct when you say that the restrictions are loosened for children, which is good. I mean, it's good that you're covering as many kids as you can. Well, maybe not as many as you can, but certainly more than you're covering adults. But also, like, if you don't cover adults, that's equally bad for the kids as well. So like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. I'm sorry. By the way, I apologize. When I said 322, not 322 a month, 322 a week. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. That makes more sense. Sorry. Yes. That makes way more sense.
I apologize.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but at the same time, at 322 a week, that would put you as a family of 4. That would put you at 52% of federal poverty level, right? Mm-hmm. You're not even at 100%. You're not even at 100%. And this is what they expect people to make.
I mean, to put it in context, these are the stats that I'm looking at are from 2019. So as of October 2019, 4.3 million Texans were enrolled in Medicaid. Mm-hmm. The number of people that were enrolled in Medicaid, just from a income qualification standpoint, as far as adults go, 133,000 out of 4.3 million people.
Yes, because it's damn near impossible as an adult, right? So imagine having a job, by the way, and only making $300 a week. That's how low you have to be. What the fuck? Yeah. This is insane. And that's, by the way, with 4 kids. Fuck off. But Florida is the same. And that's, by the way, that's why Texas has the highest amount of uninsured people in the country of any state. Well,
and by the way, like, this is one of the reasons why
it's because their qualifications to get into Medicaid is so low.
This is one of the reasons why Republicans are also not so fast to move on this, because their thought process is, the majority of the states that expanded Medicaid requirements are blue states. So if these subsidies get lowered and fewer people can access them, it's only going to impact Democrats, to which I say to them, you do realize that Republicans also live in those states as well. Like, the people that vote for you also live in those places too, you fucking idiots.
Yep. Never thought about it.
Isn't it weird how, like, every person that lives in a red state is Republican and every person that lives in a blue state is Democrat? Isn't that strange how those generalizations just get kind of painted over everything?
Look, bro, that's how it works. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, don't even think about it. It's best.
Again, my favorite statistic is the first most Republican votes in the presidential election came from Texas. The second most Republican votes in the presidential election came from California. So.
Which is weird. How did they get there? I thought they were all blue.
Yeah, they all live in the north part of California.
Like, hey, should we get rid of the Electoral College? No, that would screw over. Wait, yeah, exactly. Shut up. Your argument is dumb. Like, it makes no fucking sense. All right, so yeah, Republicans are just kind of like, I'm sure the subsidies not being there will be fine.
By the way,
we're gonna get fucking rolled in the midterms if you leave this.
And by the way, if you think you've heard the last of this, even if we get past the first of the year and you think, oh, well, it's done now, so like we're not going to hear it, remember that the government funding extension that they did was only until the end of January. It's not like they funded it for like the next year until September. So,
nope. So we're going to be right back in the fight. Yay. You're going to be right back in the fight, and the subsidies are going to be gone.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Democrats. I hope you actually sit on your strengthened hand this time, because now it's not the threat of the subsidies going away. It's they're gone. We want to get them back.
Yeah, I would be like, no, like fix this. That's it.
I mean, honestly,
if we're starving now,
if I'm a Republican strategist, I'm extending the subsidies before the shutdown fight happens again, just to take a bullet out of the Democrats' gun. At that point,
I'm doing it before the fucking holidays. I'm getting this done before the end of the year because I don't want people seeing it spike. Because if people see it spike, here's the thing about half truths and lies. They make it around the world way before the truth actually gets up. So the best thing to do is to knock it out and fix it now, not to wait. Just don't. But you know what? Like if you think that it's gonna work out for you, sure, why not? Go for it.
By the way, in case you're wondering, because I was, apparently the House doesn't have any votes scheduled for the next 2 weeks.
Cool. I can think of one thing they have scheduled. They're about to have a discharge order they're going to have to deal with soon. More on that later. Trump decided to lower tariffs or get rid of some tariffs and to help with the affordability situation.
Oh, no. Well, not affordability, Jay, because that's a scam. That's a scam cooked up by the Democrats. Yeah. His words.
Like, did they invent the word affordability? I'm confused. And then Trump is like, I'm going to give out $2,000 checks from the tariffs. Like, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to take the money out of your wallet and just hand it back to you. And that's essentially what you're doing. Like, thanks. Appreciate it. So he's like, I'm going to give out $2,000 checks. And Republicans are like, we can't afford that. No. And he's like, okay. They realize, look, there's blood in the water, man. They realize he don't have any power.
Also, Ron Johnson, the dumbest man in Congress, basically, like, his excuse was when he was talking about this to Fox News, he's like, we have a $2 trillion deficit. I wish he wasn't on Fox News, because the follow-up question would be like, yeah, you have a $2 trillion deficit. How much did you guys cut out of the government because of taxes? Like, because you extended tax breaks onto rich people? Like, how much was that? Oh, was it $1.5 trillion?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
shit,
you guys were the fastest under your administration. You're the fastest trillion dollar addition to the deficit ever. What happened? Well, that was clearly Joe Biden. Oh, right, Joe Biden. Okay.
By the way, where is the tariff money? Like what balance sheet?
It's an entire show. That's what he says.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm saying like seriously, like, what balance sheet is that tariff income sitting on right now? I'm just curious.
Is there any money? I mean,
there is. Companies are certainly paying for them as goods come in from out of the country. So, like, the money is somewhere. Well, I'd be curious to know where.
Let me rephrase that. Has it already been spent? Has it been put into accounts that we don't know about? I don't know. Has someone raided the tariff shelf? I don't know. I mean, Trump talks about, we'll just pay down some of the deficit with it. We'll do a little bit of this. We'll do a little bit of that. Like, this is unlimited, like it's a slush fund or something. It isn't. And I don't know what balance sheet it's on. My guess is it's not one we're going to be seeing anytime fucking soon.
Meanwhile, Costco's like, hey, we'd like our money back, actually, please.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Now, of course, that comes simultaneously as the Supreme Court is going to decide whether or not they're going to disallow Trump to even have the power to do the tariffs. Spoiler, he doesn't have the power to do them. But apparently the Supreme Court needs to back up an illegal act, I guess, which is weird. But
I don't know if the arguments are any indication. I don't know that they're going to cover his ass on this one, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Yeah,
who knows? What's really funny is the MAGA rabble is like, we're going to boycott Costco because they're suing the Trump administration. It's like, you're boycotting Costco because they're fighting to not raise your prices.
Let's be clear. If in the world where the Supreme Court's like, yeah, you can't put these tariffs on, and in the world where Costco's like, we'd like our money back, please, and a judge is like, yeah, here's your money back, I'd be interested to see how that gets down to customers. My bet is that it's probably not. Instead, it's going to get paid back out to companies, and companies will be like, thanks, that's awesome, we really appreciate it. Hey, let's do a lot of stock buybacks and fucking dividend payouts for our shareholders now that we have all this extra money that we found, because they did the exact same fucking thing during COVID. So why would they do something differently this time? Even though, again, ultimately they were paid for by me, not Jay, because Jay doesn't buy anything from America, but paid for by me. So
I go to Costco. What the fuck are you talking about?
They have Costco down there?
Yeah, fuck off. We have things. We got stuff. Yeah. We have things. Get out of here. Yeah, I love Costco.
Big fan of the Kirklanda brand stuff down there.
I mean, it is the ultimate brand from
L Kirkland.
Yes, like from yes, all the sweatshirts say L Kirkland across the
That's how you know. Yeah,
from t-shirts to fucking outdoor furniture, you can get it all. Kirkland brand. We make everything. So yeah, we have Costco. Get out of here. There's a Costco everywhere. There's probably a Costco in fucking North Korea, for God's sake. I don't have anything in it, but it's there. So yeah, I thought that was really funny. It's like, oh yeah, we're lowering the tariff on like beef and coffee and quote unquote fruits like that.
Well, also the big one is that he did peel back the punitive tariffs on China. Like I think pretty much all that's in place now for China is the stuff that was on there beforehand. Because like I said, they kissed his butt and they were just like, oh, also we'll buy like $20 billion of soybeans. And Trump was like, I fucking did it. Look at what I did for you guys, farmers. And farmers like, yeah, but they were buying $60 billion.
Yeah. It's like, it's way less. It's
you negotiated us back to a third of what we had before. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Republican math. There you go. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.